Hey guys, SMZ here, and we're back playing Great Shadow Legends. So we just received a new patch news. So the new patch 10.10, is coming out pretty soon, and it has some really juicy stuff. So I thought of making a video where we go through the patch notes and see what we are most excited about. So update highlights 10.10, which is coming soon. Generally, whenever they give out this information, the patch comes in within a few days. So I'm expecting that it comes this week, potentially Wednesday or Thursday. Um, yeah, so first up is the new raid event. They've been teasing this for quite a while. People have been speculating it could be Alice in Wonderland, or something of that sort. They've been teasing this new champion that might be coming in as well, which happens to be the very next thing, which is the champion chase event. So we know not a lot about this champion yet. um, the champion will be available for free. So this is pretty standard. They've done this several times in the past. The most recent one was Skeletor, where we had to log in 7 days in a row to get the champion, and then after the first phase is over, after the 7 days, there is another phase which is basically doing small activities within the game, which allows you to obtain a 5-star soul. So if the champion is good, that 5-star soul has a lot of value. So we're hoping that this champion is actually a very good champion. They've been a hit and miss, these 7-day login champions, but previously I think we've had a lot of good champions coming in as well. Recently, not so much. So hoping that 2025 changes that. So next up, this is also something they've been teasing, the new event dungeon. So the event dungeon, the first time this happened was last year with uh, the Norse Gods event, I think it was called, or the Valhalla event. I don't actually remember the name, but Odin was the boss, and then it was a very interesting dungeon. And the most exciting part of that was the pinpoint gear. This gear set is amazing. This gear set has completely changed the meta when it comes to the arena, live arena, standard arena. So previously, everybody was just running in a sheep meta, and this allows you to move past it because this grants the mirror and intercept stack for 4 pieces, for 6 pieces, even two of them, and this basically allows you to block a crowd control debuff, which includes the sheep debuff as well as the stuns with which Armans basically dominates the meta. So very, very good gear set. And if I remember correctly, with the Odin dungeon, the drop rates for especially for accessories was pretty high. So here's to hoping that's still the case, and we can obtain a lot of good pinpoint uh, gear set. As you can see, I don't have a lot of normal gear set available for pinpoint, but I did manage to snag quite a bit of accessories. So very exciting that pinpoint is going to be back in the event dungeon, and let's hope that the champion, the unique champion like Odin, is also pretty good. And here's to hoping that's more accessible than Odin was, so more people can enjoy him. Then we come to, I think, one of the most important things of this patch, which is the market rework. So if you look at the market currently, it's not super exciting. This is a very dated market that nobody wants the 3 or 4 or sometimes even lower star gear and of very bad gear sets. You never purchase this gear set anymore. Mystery shards are actually handy for stockpiling them in case you want to complete a summon rush event or a champion chase event. And then these uncommons and commons sometimes come in handy when you're looking for food champions, but that's about it. So it's exciting that there's going to be a change to the market. So what is this change going to be? Let's see. The market in your bastion will become a hub where the traders across various game modes can gather. Access by tapping on the regular building, and you'll see tabs for the market itself, token trader, interesting, clan shop, bazaar, soul merchant, and mystic market. So all of these different locations where we have to access them separately. So for example, the soul merchant is right here. Then you have the bazaar, which is in the tag team arena right here, which it's interesting, but again, a lot of things are locked behind being in silver or gold, and there's a cooldown which I do not like. But so what they're doing is it should all be available to access through the market itself, which is nice, but not super exciting. Uh, Only this part. Then the next part is exciting. So on top of that, there will be more changes to the market. First, you will be able to find rank 6 gear in it. Yes, that's what we've been hoping for. So rank 6 gear should be good. Again, depends on what gear sets we have. Especially for in-game accounts, it might not change that much. But let's read on. Secondly, some of the existing sets you're used to obtaining in the dungeons will be available in the market. So this is kind of the case. So these gear sets are basically dungeon gear sets, so they are available. 6-star versions of them. Occasionally, we'll be able to find good gear sets. The good thing is, as the market is right now, you can see the stats and the substats of uh, the gear sets. So you can actually check if there. I think occasionally you will be able to find some decent looking gear sets. I don't know if they will also allow higher rarities. So they do say rank 6, but okay, that's the third point. Never mind me, too impatient. Third, it will start featuring epic and legendary gear more often. Okay, so every once in a while, you might be able to run into a 6-star legendary piece. Let's say a crit damage gauntlet with crit rate as one of the substats and or speed as one of the substats, which is great. So that's actually a very good change. And the more you progress, the better artifacts you will get access to, which is very good. At some point, you may stop receiving common and uncommon gear. Yes, that's actually pretty good. That's a good overhaul to the market. Um, is that everything that we've been wanting? No. Is that a good first step? Definitely. So let's see how that goes. But I'm personally very excited for this market rework. Okay, so champions rating reset. Okay, so they are going to be resetting the ratings of the champions in the game because of all the balance changes. Now, are they going to continue doing that, or is this just one blanket soft reset? Not even soft, this is a hard reset. So, by ratings, what they mean is if you go to the index, if I go into any champion, let's say I own Sithalia, for example. So, we're talking about these reviews right here. These are the reviews that I have never, I think I have never rated any champion over here, but many people apparently do. So, you can rate the champion here between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for example, Cetalia is rated 4.9 for arena offense, for everywhere 4.9 for the first three at least. She's a pretty good champion. I think if I got her in she was one of my early champions, so I used her a lot. I enjoyed her a lot. I don't use her that much now that I'm endgame, but she's a pretty good champion. So these ratings, what they're saying is some of the ratings are not reflective of how the champion performs today because the ratings are so old. So they're just resetting that so that the new ratings that come in, they are going to be more accurate. Will they do something about recommended artifacts because they recommend all these very underwhelming artifacts for pretty much all the champions? Let's see. Let's look at what's an OP champion from this faction? Let's look at Taras. So Taras rating, of course, great rating. One of the champions I would love to get. Recommended artifacts. Life set, defense set. Nobody will use this except someone who's picked up Taurus in their first week and they have these very bad artifacts lying around, and they are the only ones who are going to use these artifacts on these champions. But the reviews are going to reset, and hopefully that will reflect better, and we would be able to judge the champion as soon as we pull them. So that's good. Again, nothing super exciting, but good to have. Balance updates. This is something. Okay, so that balance updates on champions as well as some other updates. So on the champions, we've already looked at the updates or the buffs to Skull Lord as well as to Tramaria, but there are some other updates. Lethal Dose and Incinerate, previously arena specific blessings, will now work in siege battles. This is great. This is something that a lot of people have been asking for, which is amazing. Lethal Dose and Incinerate, they're both blessings which previously were very underwhelming, and they were not being used very often. Where is it? There's Incinerate. So it increases damage inflicted by HP burn in the arena only. And nobody really uses HP burn in the arena except for this new kind of niche meta with Volcanos, the faction unity champion from the Demon Spawn, who's amazingly good at this. So now that this is available as well as in the siege mode, it's going to be more useful in more areas of the game. So which is quite nice. People have been asking for this. So Incinerate is one. The other one, where's the other one? The poison one, Lethal Dose. So similar effect, but this case with poison, and it even ignores a percentage of target resistance. So we can see very exciting combos, not just in arena but also in siege. Which siege is a game mode that's transforming into becoming very strategic, and the clans who are putting in very strategic defenses are winning over clans with way higher power or much more whale clans even. So this is actually a pretty good change. Berserk will be added to the list of debuffs that bosses are immune to by default. Berserk is that debuff that Odin places. So it's just going to be added. Nothing super exciting. Good to have, I guess. Some Doom Tower stages will be rebalanced due to the upcoming changes to Skull Lord Vargal. Oh my god. Waves that contain more than one instance of this champion will be changed to feature other Lizardman champions instead. Okay. So there are some stages which have Skull Lord, and I think there was one stage in which there's one Skull Lord and multiple of what was his name, Skull Sworn. So instead, there'll be now Lizardman champs because now the new passive will be that he revives a random Lizardman whenever he takes a turn. So it's gonna change some of those floors, make them a bit more difficult. But if you are end game, it's not going to affect you too much. But if you are progressing into the Doom Tower, might be something to consider. You just have to play around it. You have to try to kill this guy as quick as you can. Otherwise, he's just going to be reviving his fellow champs again and again. So that is the other balance update. So we have the champion balances that we've already looked at, and there are new champions. Of course, there are. So let's quickly go through these new champions as well. So there's a epic void champion from Knights Revenant faction, Dawn Caller Sabitha. Let's see. A1 attacks an enemy, heals the ally with the lowest HP by 10% of this champion's HP. It's nice. But this champion's HP is actually pretty good if you build them as a support. It is a support champion as well. So it's a good A1. Fortifying Ray places a 60% increased defense buff and a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. A good skill. That's a good skill. Boosting basically the damage from both champions. Then you have the Shimmer of Life. Revives an ally with 25% HP and 100% turn meter. Okay, so that's a revive ability, which is also pretty good, and a turn meter boost. Good thing is, it doesn't say that he'll or she will place or use this ability when there are no allies dead, which is actually good. So only will use it when an ally is dead and places a block damage on that ally. Okay, that's good. That's actually quite good for a void champion. This is on a 4 turn cooldown. Pretty good, I'd say. The passive is whenever the champion revives an ally, decreases the cooldown of one of the champion skills by 1 turn. Pretty good. It's not like Godseeker Aniri, who basically resets all the skills. But one of the skills by 1 turn, kind of a downgrade if you look at Godseeker Aniri, but not many champions stand up to her. Overall, I think a pretty decent champion. She has revive, resetting the cooldown by a turn, increased defense and increased attack, and some heal. Pretty nice, good champion. Nothing super outstanding, I would say. Okay, so oh my god, this is a big one. Legendary. That's a lot of text. Okay, let's try to summarize this. Legendary Force Revenant, Knights Revenant as well, Force Champion, defense type. Let's see. So A1 attacks an enemy, and when booked, it 100% chance placing a weaken, and cannot be resisted if the target has attacked this champion before this turn. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So, for example, if you're in the arena and you have Stone Skin, and so anytime this champion's gonna counter attack or take or hit with an A1, he's 100% chance gonna place a weaken, which is gonna be irresistible, which is actually pretty good. A2, the HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest HP. The turn meter levels of all allies will be brought to the level of the ally with the highest turn meter. Okay. HP levels of all enemies will be brought down to the level of the enemy with the lowest HP, and same with the turn meter. Okay. Very interesting. I think, what's that champion's name? Grave. Walking Tomb Dreng. He has this skill, only the first part of it with HP, but this guy will do it to both HP and turn meter with the ally who has the highest HP and highest turn meter, which is actually a pretty good ability. And in addition to that, he will do it to the inverse effect to the enemy, and then places a taunt. This is actually a pretty good ability, to be honest. So you're decreasing turn meter of the enemies and taking away their health. So let's say again you're in the arena, you are able to get a hit on their nuker, bring them down to, let's say, 25% health. So he's going to decrease the HP of a lot of champions. And since the nuker probably had just taken a turn, the turn meter is going to be reduced by quite a lot while boosting our own turn meter. I think it's a pretty good skill. We'll have to test it out how it exactly works, but on paper it sounds good. A3 attacks an enemy before attacking, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target, and heals this champion by 10% of the max HP. Heals by an additional 10% for each debuff transfer. We'll always use this skill instead of the default skill. Okay, so ignore what I said about counter attacking in arena. He'll use this skill. So he'll transfer all debuffs. Okay, that's a good ability, and heal. And then this is the faction. Okay, this is a faction Unity champion. So one ally before attacking removes all buffs from the target enemy. Okay, one enemy, right? Yep. Effect cannot be resisted if the target has attacked this champion before this turn. Okay. Will attack all remaining champions with less than 30% HP. This attack will ignore 100% of each target's defense and cannot be critical. Okay. So it's pure damage but cannot crit. That could be amazing. Two faction allies. Knights Revenant do have some really good champions. Three faction allies skill deals 100% more damage to enemies who have attacked this champion. He has something going against anybody who attacks him. Pretty good, but so far not as good as some of the other faction ally skills that I've seen. But that might change. Let's look at the passive. Every time this champion loses 20% or HP or more from a single hit, places a block damage. Oh my god. Every time. Okay. Places a block damage. Okay, so what's gonna happen is this champion takes a hit, gets the block damage on, and yeah, with one faction ally, when attacked, has a 15% chance of placing True Fear on the attacker and cannot be resisted. Oh my god. Whew. Somebody attacks him, gets True Feared, he gets block damage, and he's going to take vengeance against that champion. Very interesting. Two faction allies ignore defense effects against this champion are decreased by 100%. Oh, that is very good damage mitigation. So this champion is definitely a PvP champion. So in the arena or in Siege, I'm not seeing a lot of PvE usage at the moment, but PvP could be very interesting combos. Three faction allies when attacked. 20% chance of activating an instant turn. Okay, so as I said, somebody hits him, loses 25% HP at max, gets block damage, gets an instant turn with three faction allies, and basically takes vengeance or heals. That looks like a very, very good champion. Could be some very good combos with the champion. Not as crazy as some of the other faction Unity champions, that's for sure. but still, it could unlock really, really good combinations in the arena and in the siege. Aura is all defense, all allies 25%, and resistance by 60 to Nice Revenant. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so very, very interesting patch overall. I think the market changes, they look very promising. Really like them. Really excited to see the new 7-day login champion, and I hope that it's a good champion as opposed to some of the recent ones who have not been that great. The event dungeon was also something to really look forward to with the pinpoint gear, champion reset, a rating reset. Not it's good to have, nothing extraordinary. Some of the updates are pretty good, especially this one, the lethal dose and incinerate. So overall, I think it's a pretty good patch, and I hope that it's gonna change some of the features in the game that we have been complaining about quite so much. So thank you so much, everybody. Let me know which part of these changes are you are looking forward to the most, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.